Could you imagine me going to one of those parties and walking in that room with what I'd be like, y'all know, where's the pause button? I'd be like, pause. I'd be like, you're in here, y'all bugging. What? I didn't know. That type. They know that I'm not tolerant, or, I don't look the other way. I'd be getting out the way. But I might not be so silent. I might not be able to keep that secret of what I saw. If you are around somebody that may be doing something immoral, and you might look the other way or might help facilitate it, karmically, you may be considered accountable.
Hollywood lost a rising star with the death of 22-year-old R&B star Aaliyah.
Tell me about that day. Where were you?
I was getting my hair cut, and I was waiting for her. She was trying to get back really quickly because we were trying to see each other.
The small twin-engine Cessna erupted into a fiery nosedive just minutes after leaving the Bahamas, where Aaliyah was shooting an upcoming music video.
Rumors of a growing rift between Jay-Z and Dame Dash. The Rockefeller CEO was caught crashing a marketing meeting at parent company Def Jam, accusing executives of trying to cut him out.
This is treacherous. I'm telling you, I'm sick of this. I seen all of y'all yesterday. Why nobody told me about a marketing plan about Jay-Z? How do y'all call a meeting about Jay-Z without Rockefeller? There ain't even nobody from Rockefeller in here.
We're gonna reschedule.
What the you mean you're gonna reschedule?
We're reschedule.
What you mean you're gonna reschedule? You get the out. You're not a leader. You don't know about my culture. You don't know about Jay.
Diddy's recent arrest has triggered a whirlwind of revelations, with many coming forward to share their hidden truths. The latest shocker comes from Dame Dash, who is now disclosing some of Diddy's darkest secrets. For those who don't know, Dame and Jay-Z were once close, managing Rockefeller Records together, before Jay-Z and Diddy became best buddies. With Dame in the picture, he's aware of all the behind-the-scenes drama involving both Jay and Diddy. Notably, Dame has always been vocal about his dislike for Diddy's notorious parties.
Hip-hop, we were still brothers. Like, I still consider his sons my nephews. Regardless of what he do, his sons will always be good with me. If hopefully everything's cool with that as well. Or children in general. And that's how I feel about everyone from my kind of generation that graduated from that era of hip-hop. So it was like, damn. I knew how much this was, number one, going to affect the face of hip-hop, because he's been a pillar for the last 30 years. There was no hip-hop without certain people being mentioned. And, I'm proud to say that I'm one of those people, but he's definitely one of those people. And even though there's always been a competitive nature between him and I, I've always admired the fact that he'll do anything. Like when he ran the marathon, I was like, I wouldn't have did that. Like, he definitely is turned up, pause. Like, he has a lot of energy. And I admired the fact that he was able to stay relevant over and over again. I couldn't understand it. I'd be like, how did he get that deal? He always gets those deals, I was definitely transparent. I was definitely sort of pissed off because I felt like I started that thing with the vodka and the liquor and the almond deal. I remember having a conversation with him at the MTV Awards, and him asking me, like, how'd you do that, blah, blah, blah. And he went and did it a different way and made a lot of money from it. But I was like, in my brain, I was like, he's always copying. You know what I mean? Like, and it's, sometimes I'd wonder, like, how does he get that deal? Like, I'll have a great idea, but he could always get the deal to connect him to pop culture where he could get that volume and be so embraced, But I'd be like, but I'm gonna still do it my way. And I don't care, like, we've had conversations like, yo, bruh, it's kind of similar ideas, but yeah, but I do them better than you. Maybe you do. But you don't celebrate that kind of thing no matter what, And I started to think, because like every day something new comes out. So I'm wondering in his brain, like, in this very moment, would he give up everything, all the money, all the history he's made with music all of it, just to be regular and be free? Would he erase everything? Like, was it worth it? The 30 years of rolling, you know, if he knew 30 years ago that he had 30 years to just do whatever he wanted, and be well respected and celebrated, and do all these impactful things that have affected hip hop and the trajectory of hip hop. And you know, now I'm seeing that, you know, he had a lot more power than I knew. So he was affecting everything. And you know, would he be like, yo, I'll give it all up just so I could just be with my kids every day? And when I saw him at the park with his kids, I was like, yo, that's what I do every day. You know, that's what I walked away from, because the ultimate wealth, I just always wanted a family, you know? And my mom died when I was young. I lost my girl at the time, fairly young. You know, I haven't been in a functional relationship with any of my children's mothers. It's been war before they were born. And all I wanted was just a peaceful life, be able to just pick my son up from school or my child, my daughter, you know, go to all their activities, you know, take them to school, just grow with them, you know, and be with a woman that I love and be peaceful and grow together. All those things was my dream. And the crazy thing is, the only way I was able to get to that dream was to detach from all of that stuff. I would never have gotten the ultimate dream had I stayed around, you know? So I just, you know, I know the kind of guy that he is, and he's used to being a free-spirited individual. And then I start to reflect, like, yo, how did you avoid all that? How did you just know to stay away? You know? And it's just because, like, regardless of whether what he was doing was illegal or not, that will be judged in a court of law. But what we do know was he was doing some loose shit. Like, there were actual freak-off parties, and there were environments and things that were going on that I personally would never, ever, ever do, be around. And I think people know me, and hearing about these things actually happening, people would be like, now I understand why Dame really didn't get along with certain people.
Let's travel back to the mid-90s, when Dame Dash and Jay-Z were riding high as co-founders of Rockefeller Records, a label that transformed the music industry. Before Rockefeller became a global sensation, Jay-Z faced major obstacles. No one was interested in signing him. It was Dame's unwavering faith in Jay's talent that propelled them forward, building a label that became a beacon of independence in the hip-hop scene.
You meet Jay. Yeah. At this point, before you met him, did you know, have you heard about
Not
Jay?
At all.
Nothing.
Nothing.
When did you know he had a special talent with Jay?
I knew he could rap because he could rap really fast, but him and I were just real cool because, you know, we were, at that time, I started getting back in the street a little bit, you know, had the plug.
Right.
So, I passed him the plug, you know what I mean? Because, you know, he was hustling different. He was still copping from the hill. So I had to, you know, introduce him to his man, somebody he's still with to this day, you know. And also, another, you know, what I usually do is come to a block and be like, you're not hustling right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, get him out of here, cut the middleman out, get it, you know. And that's what I kind of did. Like, I didn't even want to, I don't even get to that story, but, you know, it was like, yeah, we just started to kick it and do things in the street. But not the street, but, you know, elevate whatever game that he had, as well as us being on the road and him rapping with original flavor. And, you know, for a long time, you know, I shopped Jay to every single record company. They all said no. Kevin Lau said no. Lior said no.
Lior said no?
Yeah, Kevin Lau worked for Lior. And
wow,
they all said no, bro. Every single one of them. No one. That's why I didn't do it myself. I tried to get him signed, but I couldn't.
What were they saying? When they said no?
Too old, rap too fast. Jazz had, he was with Jazz, and Jazz wasn't so successful.
Yeah.
So it's just his look. Like, he didn't. So what happened was, he's from Brooklyn, right? And again, what you'll see a lot of time
is they're always saying I'm talking about him. But if you asking me questions about my story, you know, he's part of it. So I don't like to really talk about him so much. But you know, he was a Brooklyn cat, and he dressed like a Brooklyn cat. He didn't, you know, he didn't have it all together the way. So my guys used to tease him all day. Every little thing he did, they thought was corny, and we just kind of hauled him up. You know what I mean? But initially, we thought he was cool. I thought he was cool because he was wearing Nike Airs, and most dudes at the time from Brooklyn didn't wear Nike Airs, and so that's why I kind of thought he was cool. But I knew he could rap, and then we got to know each other in a different way. Pause. You know, we were, you know, doing certain things like passing the plug, and we became brothers. And then, you know, we started Rockefeller just because no one else would sign us, you know?
That's it.
That's it.
So let me ask you, so was there, you know how sometimes...
We tried it the easy way and it didn't work out. And again, if I'm a thorough person that comes from a certain cloth,
yeah.
If I walk in a room full of people that are completely different, raised different value systems, and they're asking me to do certain things, like... The day we did the deal with Def Jam as a co-venture, Leo asked me to go fight another black man for him. And I'm like, are you fighting any of my battles? But he tried me. It was like immediately he tried me to make me fight his battles in a culture that wasn't. And I just knew how to say no. Like what I can do clearly is it doesn't make me, because I'm a businessman. See, creators, it's hard for them to say no. They're non-confrontational. They speak through their art. And you can push a creative to do things in the moment because they don't know how to verbally defend themselves. With me, I have no problem being honest and telling you the truth. I don't have a problem asking for my money or saying how much am I getting paid or how much are we getting paid, how we break. Those questions that make people, especially creators, awkward, don't make me feel awkward, you know? So that was always my job.
What a great combo, though.
Yeah.
What a great combo.
It's a 1-2 punch.
Right, that was fantastic. So let me ask you, you know how when I was 21 years old, I'm broke, I got nothing going on. There's this Denny's we would go to, and I would sit with one of my friends, Saul, who's upstairs right now. And it was me, him, and another guy, and we would dream, hey, one day we're going to do this, and we're going to take over the world, and blah, 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 blah. Here's what we're going to be doing. Did you and Jay have that moment, and then you said, you know what, screw it, we're going to call it Rockefeller? And is it, you know, called after Rockefeller because we're going to become tycoons and moguls? Was there a moment between the two of you?
It wasn't between the two of us. It was a crew of us. But I used to sit and write and plot all day, and I still do. So if you ask my crew now, the first thing I do when I get up in the morning is we get around the table, get the colored papers and the markers, and we talk about how we going to eat. It's always been that plot and plan. Always. And it was more like a moment that we were in St. Thomas, me, him, and Biggs, and we were like, let's just do it ourselves, you know? But we always knew we had to do it ourselves. It kind of felt like, at least I did, just based on the way the system was set up. And like, no one in that business listens to you unless they have to. You understand what I mean? Like, a lot of times, people that are in a position of power in the music business are in a position of power because, again, they're willing to compromise and do things that, you know, the average man would not do. And I wouldn't do that. So then at the end, you get people that have funny ways in those positions that only look out for people that they have things on. And they only listen because they don't like a person that will compromise everything to get to the top. But once they get to the top, that person that they didn't like and disrespected before, that might got sent to the store or sent to drive someone's car, all of a sudden they're your boss. And you hate that person, but you have to listen to them.
As their success grew, tensions in their friendship began to surface. The trouble started around the early 2000s when Aaliyah, who was close to both Jay-Z and Dame, tragically passed away, coinciding with the emergence of the R. Kelly scandals. This created a dark atmosphere in the industry and had a profound effect on Dame, leading to a decline in his relationship with Jay-Z.
Most painful moment in your life?
When Aaliyah died.
Okay. So when that happened, I think we were all shocked.
Yeah, I was broken.
I know you were nobody more than you because you guys...
Her mother and father were, but they didn't move on at all ever. You can't, but yeah, it was very painful there.
Do you still listen to any of her music or not?
Nah, it hurts too much. Like on her birthday, one day I was listening to it, I forgot, with Nicolette and this girl Big Deucer, because she's a Aaliyah fan, and I was trying to write for a movie, and that shit had me crying. I was crying, I didn't like the way I felt. that's something. It's a feeling that you have to learn to live with. But I was really in love with her, and she died tragically.
Dame, did that event ever want you to find out exactly who was behind it and what happened, or did you block all the theories that people were presenting behind it? Or was it like, I'm going to get to the bottom of it and find out exactly what happened?
I mean, I knew what happened, so I didn't have to get to the bottom of it.
Does what the media and the market write about what happened match?
If I know what happened, why would I give a about what the media says? So that's like saying they're writing about my girl and I'm with her every day. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't do the media so much. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I've heard they said everyone to me gets their turn at some conspiracy.
Right. Yeah.
So again, when you know what people write about you personally, it's hard to believe everything that
I agree.
you read. So no, I don't. To me, it's an oxymoron to be famous or be known and care about what people think. That's the dumbest shit. And to let that dictate what you do, that's weakness. And I'm not driven by insecurity.
It's not sustainable.
It's that, and that's why a lot of people go nuts because they're so scared about people that they don't know that aren't participating in the art they are.
That's a great point.
And they're worried about what these people think, and that's insecurity. I'm not that guy. I've never presented myself as that guy.
You're May 3rd, right?
Yeah, I don't usually care what people think other than if I respect exactly what you've done and you've done something that I need to do or I'm trying to do. But other than that, unless you're my family and I don't care what nobody think. I'm not going to listen to a conspiracy theory if I know the truth. But I'm not going to tell you what the truth is in this moment. We in public.
Okay.
There's a lot of truths that I know that because I'm just not a sucker and I don't feel like dealing with certain things that I'm not going to come out publicly because a lot of things I've been saying and exposing years ago, no one said until just now. So if you remember, I was beefing with Harvey Weinstein. I'm beefing with Leo. I'm beefing with Steve Stout. Most of the people that I'm beefing with, and I'm saying beefing because they're conspiring together, having meetings about how to put me out of business and stop my cash flow. Yeah. That's actually happening.
Do you believe in accountability?
Of course. That's what's happening.
So wouldn't you want to hold people accountable for what they did to Aaliyah?
Yeah.
So
Wait. What happened to Aaliyah that I don't know? What are you talking about?
Can I give you what I...
But don't tell me what you heard on TikTok.
No, not TikTok.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not TikTok.
Because you're smarter than that.
No, it's not TikTok.
So I always listen to the man that's asking me the question.
Right.
And I know the nature of the question by the intelligence of the man and what their intention is. So just be selective about that question.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and what I respect about you is, Dame, you can simply say, don't want to comment, don't want to say anything. No problem. We'll move on to the next thing. What I'm going
to want to know is why.
Right, no problem.
And then there'll be accountability.
Well, for me, I got 4 kids, and when you see somebody like this who had an incredible voice, and she was in that one movie with Jet Li.
What did you hear, though? What did you hear? What did you hear? My question is, why are you saying a conspiracy?
No, it's not a conspiracy. So what I heard is she's coming up, and the whole challenge where she used to be married to R. Kelly.
She was 15. She wasn't married.
15 years old, right?
And they married at 15 to a grown man.
I know, but
so then why would you still listen to him, knowing that they said he married a 15-year-old? Well, that was the issue. That you knew it was illegal to be married to a 15-year-old, and the dude could actually put out a album that says age ain't nothing but a number. That's right. And y'all gonna listen to it and not say a word. That's where people should be ashamed of themselves.
I'm with you. I agree. So
what's the conspiracy?
So then it's not even the conspiracy. So then, R. Kelly and her, then,
You don't know the conspiracy.
Then Jay.
You looking for a conspiracy?
Then Jay, no, not at all. Not at all. Rob, matter of fact, you may want to stop Googling. Just stop Googling because he's thinking I'm looking at what you're putting up there.
What's the conspiracy that you asked me about?
So then Jay, and then later on with you, she starts, being with you for you.
You said, don't you want to find out what happened? And I want to know what you heard.
What I'd want to know is,
I'm asking you what you heard happened. You got in a plane crash.
Did Lenny Kravitz offer his plane?
Yeah, because Hype did some.
So why would Hype say no for?
Because Hype's a sucker for that, and I'm never gonna forgive him for that. So period. We know it ain't no conspiracy. I've been told y'all that. So you asking me, did I find out the conspiracy? If I'm curious, I told you I already know. So I'm asking you what you know that I don't.
Yeah.
So if you know something I don't, let me know so I can go deal with it.
I don't.
If you don't, why are we talking about it?
Yeah. So I don't think it's whether I know or you don't know.
What's the conspiracy that you're talking about?
No. It's not even a conspiracy. Is if that was the event. So I guess
that was the event.
Then what the public knows and what you know is the same thing.
So what's the conspiracy? Okay. Where's the gray area?
But where I'm going with that is the frustration with the fact that
that my partner did a album and did a tour with him. That was the frustration.
That's the frustration.
Yeah, and what's the frustration is why y'all didn't say nothing about it. That's what my point was. How was nobody saying nothing about it? Like, this nigga
girls. They know that it was a girl. He said he married a 15-year-old, and everybody at that point, until it became common or like it became the in thing to do, wasn't nobody disrespecting R. Kelly. Everybody was still going to his shows.
As Jay-Z grew closer to Diddy, his connection with Dame weakened even more. Jay-Z's choice to ally with Diddy in various business and social settings marked a significant turning point in their friendship. The final split occurred in 2004 when Rockefeller Records disbanded, leaving Dame and Jay-Z on opposite sides of the music industry.
And I all heard it, and there was like 10 of us were just all crying down the line. And then I saw my dad, he was just devastated. I actually never saw him that low. I feel like emotionally he had hit rock bottom. It was probably like one of the worst days we ever had.
You also said that her death, it changed you, turned you into a monster.
Yeah, it made me fearless. Because I know what real pain feels like, and I've dealt with it. Can't be nothing worse than that.
We actually have video at her funeral where you're very emotional. Remember that day?
I don't revisit it often because it hurts. But a lot was going on in that moment. I mean, I still had to get myself together and fight because there were things that were going on.
Dame barely had time to grieve when just 5 months after Aaliyah's death, Jay-Z did the unthinkable.
Just the idea of having a whole album with myself and R. Kelly was just an amazing prospect. Best of Both World tours come to a city near you.
Best of Both Worlds, t-shirts, draws, condoms, everything.
How do you deal with that when someone you respect does that you don't with at all? You gotta remember, once I knew Aaliyah, I knew everything. So yeah, if me and you cool, and you know that I got a girl that your man, and I tell you, and you like, you gonna still work with him, what you gonna feel? So what you think I felt?
Even as new allegations came out, Jay looked the other way.
Kelly is accused of videotaping himself having with an underage girl. Prosecutors maintain the girl in the video was as young as 13 when it was made.
I mean, I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that. I know I ain't have nothing to do with that.
That's crazy to me.
Your partner.
No, it's not. Yo, he's not my partner. Look how my partner played me. You calling him my partner? Publicly, that man did a record with that my girl and then went on a tour with him. But I had to look the other way. And because my girl said leave it alone, I left it alone.
You left it alone.
Dame couldn't break his promise to Aaliyah, but his anger was spiraling out of control.
Rumors of a growing rift between Jay-Z and Dame Dash. The Rockefeller CEO was caught crashing a marketing meeting at parent company Def Jam, accusing executives of trying to cut him out.
This is treacherous. I'm telling you, I'm sick of this. I seen all of y'all yesterday. Why nobody told me about a marketing plan about Jay-Z? How do y'all call a meeting about Jay-Z without Rockefeller? There ain't even nobody from Rockefeller in here.
No, we're gonna reschedule that.
What the you mean you're gonna reschedule?
We're gonna reschedule, man.
What you mean you're gonna reschedule? You get the out. You're not a leader. You don't know about my culture. You don't know about Jay.
Dame was struggling to hold on to the one thing he had left, so he didn't see what was coming.
They don't give a That's all they do is exploit. So they trying to take our franchise from us.
You know about the Scarface party and all that? No.
Jay's performing for that?
Yeah, he performed for it.
You can stop taping.
Jay-Z is moving on from Rockefeller Records and former partner Dame Dash as he steps into his new role as president and CEO of Def Jam.
It's not a beef, it's just growing. And sometimes growing means growing apart. It's part of life, it's a part of growing up.
Do you know what's crazy about that meeting? In my heart, I had no idea that Jay set that meeting up, but he set that meeting up.
As Jay-Z left Dame behind, people couldn't understand why Dame was stuck in the past.
Dame is abrasive. Dame burned a lot of bridges.
I burned bridges so I don't have to go back.
I think the Dame is bitter now because Jay-Z is a fully megastar brand, married to Beyonce. Aaliyah is gone.
Will you please let Aaliyah rest? Will you let her die?
Even as Dame tried to move on, he couldn't let go of his pain over Aaliyah.
Everything that scared me is losing people I love, and everyone that I really love, I've lost. So what it's made me be the animal that I am is that I don't want to sit down and think about the things that are hurting me.
Your secrets are about things you don't express to people. When it comes to feelings, you don't get to go around the feelings, you have to go through them.
Question is,
with Diddy now facing 120 new lawsuits, attention is shifting to the influential figures around him. One outspoken critic of industry corruption is Jaguar Wright, and she's making it clear that Jay-Z could be the next one in the spotlight.
When an explosive documentary exposed R. Kelly, Dame came face to face with the pain he'd been holding back.
Allegations made by more than a dozen women in the surviving R. Kelly docuseries, accusing the singer of holding them captive, brainwashing them. Prosecutors say 3 of his alleged victims were minors.
I can't really talk about being a It's like, it brings back memories, and it's very painful to have to talk about it again.
I wish that Aaliyah's family would speak, because I think there are so many young black girls who've been hurt, that what it would mean to know that Aaliyah was hurt that way too.
I can't stress to you enough how people are still suffering behind things that went on 20 years ago.
You know, I watched some of it yesterday, as much as I could tolerate. There was a girl, and when she was even trying to talk about it, she couldn't. Yeah. And I remember Aaliyah trying to talk about it.
Breaking news right now related to music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Major new allegations today of exploitation by Combs. For the first time, we are hearing about victims who say they were minors when they were allegedly by the music star. The youngest allegedly just 9 years old. The allegations were revealed today by attorneys representing more than 100 alleged victims who are preparing to sue. So let's bring in NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas right now. So Chloe, we know there is currently a press conference underway. We do have a live picture of that. Can you just walk us through these new allegations and tell us if we've heard from Combs yet?
So the individual that you see on the screen right now, that is an attorney based out of Houston, Texas, and his name is Tony Busby. He's been a part of some very well-known litigation over the years involving a BP oil spill, even involving the Astroworld Music Festival crisis where some individuals were killed during a stampede. So he has made headlines before, but this is pretty shocking. So he is claiming right now at this press conference that he has had over 3,000 individuals reach out to his law firm in Houston, Texas, that he and his team have been vetting these claims, that now they are representing over 120 accusers, and that over the next 30 days, they will begin to file different civil suits, that this is not a class action lawsuit, that they are going to continue to vet these allegations, but right now they feel strong about these. So he also said today that it's not just Combs that will be named as a defendant, that there will be other high-profile individuals, some household names. He says, quote, many powerful people, there are many dirty secrets. He says that his team has collected pictures, video, and that the allegations include violent or facilitated with a controlled substance, dissemination of video recordings, and of minors. So this was something else that they talked about, that there are 25 accusers who were allegedly minors at the time that these allegations took place starting in 1991, span all the way up over 2 decades. He also talks about where these individuals are from. He said that they hail from more than 25 states, New York, California, Florida. We know that Diddy had a residence in Miami, Georgia. We've reached out to Sean Combs' legal team for comment. They have not yet responded. Combs is currently being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn while he is awaiting trial on the New York indictment, where he is charged with racketeering, trafficking, and charges. Now, I also just want to point out that they also claim that 62% of these individuals are identifying as an African American, and that they are evenly split between female accusers and male accusers and Clay. So this is very interesting. And he said that look, I know that everybody expected me today or wanted me to name other high-profile individuals.
What do you think? How many of Dame's revelations do you believe are true? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button to stay updated on all our new content. Until next time, keep it real, everyone.